So The Dark Knight is the second film in the Dark Knight trilogy and is widely considered not only the best Batman movie, but the best superhero movie in general. Spoiler warning, if you haven't seen The Dark Knight or Batman Begins, go watch them, they're really good films. Then come back and watch my video about it. With that out of the way, let me give you a little bit of backstory about when I was younger and this movie came out. When it was 2008, this movie was coming out and I really wanted to see it. Everyone wanted to see it. My dad watched the trailer, and keep in mind I was 7 at the time. He thought I would be afraid of the Joker because, well, I mean, look at him, he's scary as fuck. I remember wanting to see it so bad. I convinced my dad to see it and I loved every second of this movie. The characters in the cast are pretty much the same for the first movie except for the Joker, played by Heath Ledger. He truly did a great job, which makes it even more sad that he died before this movie could come out. So I wanted to keep this part of the review brief because it's been said to death already, but I just wanted to give my thoughts about his performance. Now with that said, let's get on to the story. So this movie starts out with a pretty awesome shot of a bunch of explosions forming the bat symbol. Then it cuts to an amazing opening scene with the Joker's gang robbing a bank owned by the mob. The interesting thing about this is that they're picking each other off while each person does their job. Then all of them take out each other until the Joker is left standing. Then it cuts to one of the mob's drug lords making a deal with Scarecrow when they're interrupted by what they think is Batman, but they soon realize that there are several Batmen and that they don't work for the real Batman because they use guns. Then the tumbler bashes through a wall in the parking structure. The monitor on the tumbler says that it turned on a program for loitering and it blows up 2 parts of the structure around them. I was just imagining him going by a 7-Eleven and having a bunch of teenagers loitering and he just blows the shit out of them. Then the real Batman shows up and fucking bends the fake Batman's gun. Then he beats up all the other drug lords and ties them up for the police. It then cuts to the Joker's true dramatic entrance. He basically comes to gloat to the mob about how he stole their money. He fucking takes a pencil and grabs a guy's head and smashes it through his eye. Ta-da! He then comes back to the mob people and tells them how he got his scars. Probably the best part about the Joker in this movie is that he keeps his origin a secret. He tells the mob guy about how his dad got drunk and fucked up his face. In another story, he makes up something completely different. He then kills the mob guy. Lucius Fox talks to Mr. Lau, who's trying to make a deal with Wayne Enterprises, but he tells him to fuck off because he's working with the mob. Later at night, Batman comes in and kicks the bodyguard's asses and escapes with Mr. Lau and leaves him at the GCPD for questioning. Now, in my last video, I complained about how Batman Begins had really shitty fight choreography. This movie gets a lot better. Mr. Lau makes a deal with the GCPD and they arrest most of the mob. As the police and Harvey Dent parade about how they just kicked the mob's ass, they find one of the fake Batmen hanging from a noose with the Joker makeup on his face and the Joker card strapped to his chest. He then blackmails Batman through a pretty disturbing video, to say the least, about how he needs to take off his mask and turn himself in, and if he doesn't, he'll kill one person each day until he does. Meanwhile, Bruce Wayne is throwing a fundraiser and the Joker crashes his party, attempts to kill Rachel Dawes, Batman saves her, and the Joker gets away. During a funeral for the people who the Joker killed, the Joker and his henchmen snuck in, posed as one of the soldiers with bayonets. The Joker shoots Commissioner Gordon, and Harvey Dent arrests one of the Joker members. He secretly takes him to a secure location and tries to interrogate him with a gun when Batman shows up and tells him that he's going to turn himself in. Instead, Harvey turns himself in and pretends to be Batman. The SWAT team escorts him to a prison, and the Joker tries to kidnap Harvey thinking he's Batman using his GTA 5 skills. Bruce Wayne as Batman shows up and protects the van escorting Harvey Dent. The tumbler gets busted up and the bat pod pops out of the front and he blows up the rest of the tumbler. Buy one now! He takes down the truck that the Joker was in. The Joker steps out and tells him to hit him with his bat pod, but he misses him and crashes. The Joker walks over to Batman on the ground and surprise surprise, Gordon is alive and he arrests the Joker. Gordon brings him back to GCPD and interrogates him. Then they bring Batman in. Here's something fun to do. Look up the Dark Knight interrogation scene and then look up any clips of Batman and Robin. God, that movie was awful. But the Joker basically tells Batman he doesn't want to kill him, further driving the point that the Joker just wants to cause nothing but chaos. He also tells him Harvey and Rachel are in 2 different warehouses strapped to 2 different bombs. While this is going on, Harvey falls over and an oil drum spills gasoline all over the left side of his face, and the Joker actually gives Batman the addresses for the opposite people. Batman ends up saving Harvey Dent instead of Rachel, and Harvey gets half of his face blown up. Harvey goes insane and becomes Two-Face in the hospital. The Joker kills Mr. Lau by putting him in a strapped chair on a giant pile of money, and has the last mob guys killed. He also threatens to blow up a hospital if the guy who figured out who Batman is isn't killed. The GCPD decides to protect him and also clear out all the hospitals. The Joker convinces Harvey not to kill him over a coin flip, and the Joker blows up the hospital. Harvey goes and kills some people that helped the Joker set up the place where they took Rachel to get blown up. Lucius Fox decides to help Batman find the Joker using a device that gets into everyone's phones and transmits sonar waves that make a 3D map of Gotham. They find the Joker and Batman goes after him. The Joker sets up another scheme where he puts 2 bombs on 2 boats. One of them has civilians in it, the other has a bunch of prisoners and a bunch of cops. boats. He gives each boat the detonator to each other's boat. The people have to decide whether or not to kill each other. While this is going on, the Joker's in a construction building with a bunch of his gang members and hostages. The thing is, the Joker's gang members are dressed as doctors playing hostages. The hostage takers are really the hostages. Batman figures this out and stops a SWAT team from killing the hostages accidentally. Then he goes up the building to get the Joker. The people on the boats choose not to kill each other. The Joker beats the crap out of Batman. Before the Joker can blow up the boats, Batman shoots those sharp projectiles coming out of his arms and throws him off the building, but he grapples his foot. The Joker gives him a speech about madness, and he goes to save Commissioner Gordon and his family from Two-Face. Two-Face blames Gordon for not saving Rachel. He takes his son and tries to flip a coin, but Batman comes and tackles him off a balcony. Two-Face dies, and Batman tells Gordon to have the GCPD hunt him down to cover up the people that Harvey Dent has killed. Batman runs off as Gordon gives a great speech about Batman being the hero we deserve, but not the one we need. What Gotham needs is a white knight to be a symbol that the city needed not to lose hope. Then the movie ends. My only problem with this movie is that while Batman taking the blame for the killings was really Batman thing for Batman to do, they could have just blamed the Joker for the killings. But besides that, the movie is amazing and definitely gets a best movie ever. Please like, favorite, and share, and if you didn't like this video or this movie, fuck off.